I feel indebted to my American friends, so I'm gonna do like a quick summary of the Spanish spoken video that I just uploaded. So I'm kind of pissed off at this guy called Stephen Graham Jones. He's a writer and also a teacher, and that's what pisses me off the most. He's apparently making a comic book. I don't know if it already came out. I don't care. I mean, some of my subscribers insist that I read it for comedic purposes. It's kind of like, I don't know, I guess like the same feeling you get when you see a Christian being devoured by lions, some shit like that. But anyway, I'm not reading this crap, but apparently, um, according to what Stephen Graham Jones said, it's about, well, you can probably see this. Yeah, here. The world has been ravaged by climate change. How dare you? Setting the year, whatever. So apparently a group of indigenous outcasts. I don't know why they have to be indigenous. Like, you can be an outcast and not be indigenous. But okay, I don't care. I guess because this guy is this Stephen Graham Jones guy is a massive racist and can only write things that have people like him, people who physically look like him, as main characters. So yeah, apparently they think America has fucked up the world, and their solution is to go back in time and kill Christopher Columbus in 1492. Lord, give me strength. The reasoning for the target is simple. I bet it is. I bet it's simple, because that's how you all fucking pro lunatics think. If Columbus never reached the New World, then America as we know it and its problems will never exist. No, you probably would have like a society of, I don't know, highly evolved Mesoamerican peoples that slaughtered each other for Kukulkan and stuff like that, that rip their hearts out, a sacrifice to the gods. But okay, yeah. History can be rewritten for the better. That would be much better. I'm sure that would be much better. That option that I just explained would be much better than what we got. But you don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe what I'm saying. You can just listen to the guy. Just listen to him. Let's see what he says. Don't worry, I spit it up. Alright. We don't have to deal with this all shit.
To Creator Spotlight, my name is Topher Alford. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager here at IDW. I am joined by the incredible Stephen Graham Jones. Please tell us about yourself and your upcoming comic book.
Hi, I'm Stephen Graham Jones. I write a lot of horror. I love comic books. I've loved them since I was 12 years old.
I'm just saying, just because what you write is horrible doesn't mean it's horror. That's all I'm saying.
And Earthdivers is coming at you in October. It's for...
Oh, so it's, I really never paid close attention to what he was saying, so I didn't know this already had to come out. I may have to read it. Okay, let's continue.
Indigenous people go back in time to try to kill Columbus to stop America from happening, because America is messing up the world.
Yes, that sounds very exciting. How did you come up with such an amazing concept?
Well, I guess you just have to hate the country you live in the same way a surly teenager hates his parents, even though said parents gave him everything he has. I don't know if you know this guy, but Stephen Graham Jones is a member of the Blackfoot tribe, and he's apparently obsessed with the idea that, Indians are oppressed, y'all, shit like that. So that's all he writes about, apparently. Let's keep listening to him.
I wonder if it's reactionary. Actually, I wonder if coming up through...
Yes, it is.
Elementary school, I kept being taught over and over Christopher Columbus is a hero, but then I kept thinking, a hero? He came over here and he brought slavery, he killed my people, he brought infection, he did all these bad things, and we're calling...
Whoa. He brought slavery to your people? I don't know if you know this, you probably don't, which is extra jarring considering you're a teacher, but pre-Columbine, if that's how you say it in English, because that's how we say it in Spanish, pre-Columbine Mesoamerican peoples enslaved and slaughtered each other constantly. You know who Moctezuma was? Moctezuma was a Mexica emperor, who lived about 50 years prior to Columbus' arrival to the coasts of South America. He actually did everything you saw in the movie Apocalypto. He actually raided neighboring cities and the neighboring peoples. He kidnapped people and he sacrificed them to his gods. Like he was a tyrant and a genocidal maniac. Columbus didn't bring anything to your people. But also, why are you talking about your people? You're a Blackfoot. I read your Wikipedia entry. Yeah, I read your Wikipedia entry. You're not a Mayan or a Mexica or an Aztec. You're a Blackfoot. You're from North America. Your people probably wouldn't have gotten along with the Mayans or the Aztecs. It's like saying that you are the same people as the Mayans or the Aztecs is like me saying I'm the same people as the Vikings or as the Finnish just because we're European. That's stupid. And I honestly, I mean, I could not have believed a teacher could be so stupid 5 to 6 years ago. Now I'm like, yeah, it's just business as usual. We are being run and educated by complete morons. And also, please stop saying like, no, this is not how Columbus and his men looked when they arrived to the coasts of South America. They found South America by accident while they were trying to find an alternate route to the Indias. You know, to where India is now. Hence why Native Americans were called Indians. Columbus and his men were emaciated. They were in the verge of starvation when they arrived to the coasts of South America because they had been basically adrift for months. They were victims of scurvy, of dehydration, of all sorts of like. So if they brought infection to your people, that's because they themselves were infected. But now, since you bring that up, I'll have you know, since you seemingly don't know it, a lot of like the Mayans, for example, became extinct in great part due to the fact that they like to drink the waters polluted with the remains of the victims. They were actual cannibals, and they believed that by ingesting the flesh of their fallen enemies, they will acquire their strength. So that's what they did. They actually threw the sacrificed bodies and their body parts to wells, and then they will drink the water from said wells and then become infected with cholera and die in the thousands. So yeah, no, Columbus didn't bring either infection or slavery to your people. Violence, whew, well, you know, you guys were pretty adept at violence, but let's keep watching this. It's gonna be awesome, guys. I promise. Come on.
I'm a hero, you know, and I guess it just depends on where you stand, you know, if you were here before Columbus got here or if you were not. But I grew up always pushing back against Columbus in my head, anyways. But now I can finally do it with my pen a little bit.
That's great. I think we all kind of grew up thinking him in that way, and it certainly is not the case.
Well, I don't know why you guys are so obsessed with Columbus, because Columbus didn't have all that much impact in North America. I mean, I guess he had, but if you're talking about America, like America existed, like America was founded like almost 300 years after Columbus died. Like, yeah, it was founded in 1776, if I'm correct. I'm sorry, I'm not American. I may have just failed my citizenship test. I apologize, but yeah, that's like 300 years over. Like, this sounds like some kind of weird fetishistic hatred against Columbus because, well, you know, this guy over here, well, he's a pro-org activist, as he's made pretty clear, and I think we all know these people are mentally ill, right? This I don't know, maybe this comic will be good, but somehow I don't think so. The way he's presenting it, the way it's been pitched, it sounds like the nth violent fantasy, like the nth pro-org violent fantasy, because, you know, this is like, you know, the average Max Bisaya comic book in which like the main character is a self-insert and he basically beats the shit out of anyone who he dislikes in real life. That's all it is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was going with this, because you know, I tend to ramble on, but Jesus Christ.
Going back to the comic, what was it like to work with the artist David?
You know, Davide, he's great. He is so experienced.
Yeah, the art is great. You won't see me say anything bad about the art or the colors. That's in that regard, it's great. This is good old school European art. But okay, let's keep talking about the subject that I find most fascinating.
Is there like a favorite part or panel that you have from this first issue?
There is page 15, panel 5. It's where we're looking at a dead guy's cut throat, and the main character's wife's hand, which is 600 years in the future, starts to come through that throat to reach for him. And that to me just distills all the issues of this whole title, this whole series. It's romance and longing. It's times penetrating and crossing over and bleeding through. It's just everything good.
Oh, that sounds so awesome. What do you think you're most excited for then about this series?
You know, what I'm most excited for is some other kid in an elementary school history class learning one thing in class and then stumbling on this comic book and learning another thing, you know, learning that it doesn't have to be this way. If I can leave the reader with anything, it's that it's to...
I find it infuriating that comic book creators think they can educate other people. I am not an educator. I mean, you are. You have the title. I am not. And I do not wish to educate anyone. I do not wish to make people think like I do. That's a sick take on things. That's a sick take on art. You are not making this to make people think. You are making this to entertain. That's what comics are. So, and plus, why do you say kids are learning something and they're gonna learn something else with your comic book when your comic book and the official version taught in schools align? You are not doing anything different than what the mainstream is doing, which is trashing Colón because of some bullshit take on things that didn't even happen. I mean, if Columbus, I'm sorry, I'm Spanish, so I call him Colón. If Columbus really did slaughter thousands of people and enslave the South American tribes, why is everybody in South America, according to your own terms, brown? Why is everybody brown? Why are the natives here depicted brown? Why aren't they white if we exterminated them?
To give them the suspicion that it doesn't have to be this way. We can change it, you know? And no, we don't have time travel machinery, but we can still change the future by making the present better, by being more compassionate,
by murdering people before they do bad stuff. That's a great message to convey. You know, that's what I mean. I don't know if that's what the comic is about, because in a better time, in a better timeline, this used to be a better world. This would be about the moral dilemma that it means to kill someone before he does something bad, knowing that he's gonna do something bad. You know, like maybe like Minority Report. Like it's not justified. You don't have like the moral authority to decide that you need to kill someone. Like, you know, this is like the I'm pretty sure it's been done before, but you know, this would be like a guy who travels back in time to kill Hitler in the crypt before he causes the Holocaust, and he pauses to consider what he's doing, because is it really moral? Is it really right to kill a child? You know, this is what this comic would be about. But somehow, listening to the guy who made it, I don't think that it's gonna be like Columbus. As you can see, as you've seen, Columbus is depicted as a fucking maniac with like tsundere eyes. I think that I don't know if it's tsundere, like the too much white in the eye, like the crazed stare, and you know, I don't know. Maybe I'll be surprised if I ever get to read this comic for some cosmic coincidence. But this, as I said, I don't think this is going to be a good time travel story. I don't think this is going to be about the morals, about the dilemma, about should I do this just because I want. If leftists have something in common, if there's something true about leftists, is that they think might makes right. Like the ends justify the means. They never hesitate. They never have any moral dilemmas. They are basically locusts. They just advance and destroy. Yeah, so I find it really funny that this guy's talking about making the future a better place by being compassionate.
And more aware of the footprint we leave on the world. And if I can get even 1% of that across, I'll consider it a success.
Yeah, wow, what a great answer. Anything else you'd like to add? You know, Earthdivers #1, last chance to get your orders in this weekend.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. From one old people, Basque, to another old people, Blackfoot, go fuck yourself, man. Like, get over this shit. Like, I don't know if you read it here. I should have probably brought it up. But he's talking about, well, he does in the Spanish version. He's talking about bullies. he talks about bullies in another interview. That says, dude, personally, on a personal level, you, as I said, from one old people to another, you need to get over your high school bullies, and collectively, as a, I don't know if you can consider the South American tribes your people, but collectively, I'm gonna tell your people to get the fuck over Columbus already, because he didn't do anything that you guys didn't do to each other on a regular basis. Okay, I always mention that mass grave that they found in the USA. I don't remember the exact date. I don't remember the exact the location of the mass grave, but it was from the 14th century, and it was filled to the brim with the remains of men, women, and children. And again, this was in the 1300s, like centuries before the Europeans got there. So don't give me that bullshit that this was some kind of utopia. You know, this was like the Smurfs village, in which everything was wonderful. You guys didn't invent the wheel before we got there, for fuck's sake. Well, okay, the Mayans did. The Mayans were pretty advanced. Like they have a pretty efficient system of slaughtering other people. But your tribe, the Blackfoot tribe, for example, they didn't even invent the wheel before we got there. So don't try to make me believe that it was some kind of peaceful utopia, and that you had somehow invented a way of clearing up your differences without violence when you couldn't even come up with the will. Alright, that's all there is. Cannot is out.